Hi everyone. Hi, Christine Crow here, and welcome to my channel. And today I want to share a few things with you in terms of how I've managed to double my YouTube views in only a week. Well, actually, in 3 days, for example. So I am super excited. Listen, I'm a 60-year-old woman and I have got a lot of energy, but at the same time, trying to get those views was not easy. I've really had to study the YouTube. I'm looking at the algorithms. I'm looking at subject matters. I'm looking at things that relate to what I do, but also trying to give value at the same time as well, for example. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about my numbers and how they just almost trebled, should I say, from how I was actually doing. Now, my target, I became monetized in October, the middle of October last year, where I got monetized. I've been on YouTube since 2013. I'm kind of like a dinosaur type of person that's been on YouTube, didn't realize that you could get monetized on YouTube until probably a couple of years ago. And then I started to think, right, okay, I need to get 4,000 watch hours. I need to get 1,000 subscribers. So I managed to do that. I got 1,000 subscribers probably about 2 years ago. And I still the bulbs didn't light up for me. I was using YouTube, and I still use it as my business, for example, to get clients, for example. But what I found, once I became, once I flicked the switch, should I say, and became monetized on YouTube, and that was October, sort of middle October, late October last year. I then thought, okay, I'm monetized now, but I've then got to make sure my ID and, verify myself, which is what I did with YouTube, for example. And then what happened then is that I thought, okay, I'm going to start getting paid for adverts. Well, when I started doing it, it was going really slow. And I say really slow. You can see my videos, there's like two views or 20 views and things like that. And it took quite a while. I mean, now I'm in February, towards the end of February. I started mid-October. So it's October, November, December, January, February. So 4 months. And the light bulb switch flicked in my head. And I became more strategic, because bearing in mind, I was looking and using YouTube for my business, because I'm a consultant and have been since 2013, for example. So I've always looked at it that way, not as a way, there were ads on my YouTube videos, for example, and I didn't really think anything of it at all. And like I said, the switch flicked on me probably about, I would say, a week ago, and I was starting to study this YouTube. I was like, wow, why am I hardly getting any views? What's going on here? What is it that I'm doing wrong? I'm thinking, is it my age? Is it how I look? Is this the reason why I'm not getting many views? Am I, too old? Because I am 60, for example. And I thought to myself, why can't I get more views? There's got to be more to it. I was looking at other creators. They're getting like, 10,000 views a day. Some were like 800,000 views, for example. And I was like, I've got to start studying this. And listen, YouTube, you've really got to study it, and it takes time. It's like you're watching the stock market. It's like you're watching things go up and down, up and down. And it's like you got to keep feeding this algorithm. I'm still trying to get my head around the algorithm, let me tell you. It is like I need a book to read it. I've looked at what other creators are doing and what they're saying, and it's working for them. But I think that with YouTube, for me, I can really say that I'm having to really figure out and find my own flow. This isn't something that you can just, grab from someone else and learn something. This is something that has to come from you, from within. How bad do you actually want this? That is the key. Because let me tell you, for me, I go for my walks, but before I go for my walks, early morning, I am here at my desk and I am uploading videos, scheduling them, for example. And also when I come back from my walks, I schedule some more, for example. And while I'm walking, I'm actually thinking about my content, trying to keep relevant to today, for example, because I used to have a 30-day calendar. I had a 30-day calendar and I thought I had that down packed. But that 30-day calendar was to do with me getting clients in for my business, like how I used to use YouTube, for example, because YouTube can be used for businesses. Rather than paying for ads, for example, use YouTube for your business, because this is a business, for example. This is like an additional business. So going on to that, so I thought, right, okay, how am I going to get these views? I've got to try and start looking at, there's got to be something that's going to make this happen. So what I started to do, as you can see, I'm doing lives every day. And I've been doing lives probably, must be about 6 weeks, 8 weeks now, for example, where I'm doing a live at, say, 7 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. American time, New York time, for example. Now, I've been doing these lives and I don't get many people show up, for example, but I really do appreciate those that do show up. Even if there's nobody that shows up, or even one, I will still be there. I will still come on and talk, because you never know who's listening and who's going to appreciate what you have to say. So although sometimes it seems strange that you're talking to a computer or you're talking to a camera, it does seem strange sometimes, and like you can't see anybody, but people are there, for example, because you can see the numbers, but you don't know who's there, for example. But for me, what happened was this week, in 3 days, my views went from, I got them up to it was like 100 views a day. Then it was like 300 views. Then it went to 500 views. Then it went to 700 views a day. Then it went to 1,000 views a day. Then it went to 1,300 views a day. Then it went to 1,500 views a day. And it's kind of going like that. But what I notice is that I have to keep being on here every day. Don't get me wrong, I love being on here every day, but I'm just trying to explain to you, if you want to get your YouTube channel monetized quickly, you've got to be on here every day. every day and do as many videos as you can do possible. And I'm going to break it down for you. Like, I do a live every day. I do a live every day, and usually it's for about an hour. I know it seems a long time, but listen, I can talk for England anyway. I love talking. I always have been a talker, so I'm not gonna not speak, even though I can't see anybody. So I'm looking at this camera as if I'm talking to a friend, for example. So I've been going live for about 2 months now. I've been uploading every day as well, daily, for example. And that usually is about 10 to 20 minute video, for example. I've also been breaking up the live. Like, if I do a live and it's for about an hour, and I'm trying to give you some tips here for getting monetized and for getting your watch hours up. Because if you do short videos, then you're not gonna, and when I say shorts, if you want to get your views up, then shorts are good for bringing people to your channel and subscriptions, I believe. I'm a newbie, so please do not quote me on this. I'm not an expert, okay? I'm just going from what I've learned, for example. So what I tend to do is, like I said, I do the live like I'm here today, and from that live, I then can break it up into 4 videos, for example, 4 long form videos. Okay, so that's 4 long form videos. Plus I've got a live for 1 hour, for example, like how this is, for example. Then I do a video during the day with my camera, with my iPhone, for example, or possibly on here for 10-20 minutes, for example. I've then got 5 long form videos plus 1 live. I also then break it down again. I break that one 10 to 20 minute video that I've uploaded, for example, and that live that I've done, and I've broken it into 4 long form videos, for example. I then break them up into shorts. So I've got plenty of content. You'll see on my channel how many videos I've got. I've got like 3,000, probably going up to 3,500 videos, for example. But you know what? This week, now don't get me wrong, I have got to like 2,000 views before, but it's not very often. Probably, I probably would say about 10 or 20 in the space of, since I've been on here, 2013, for example. But this week has been amazing because it's been consistent day after day after day, for example, where I've got like 1,000 views, for example. Now, listen, I've got lots of videos, so that's why it amounts to that amount. But I never had that before. I would get like, that YouTube would tell me, oh, I've got like 100 views, for example, or 150 views, for example. But when I was doing YouTube until recently, I was focused on my appointments for my business, of course, and which is important, and my business can get 10 to 15 leads a week from YouTube alone. So that's what I was using YouTube for. I wasn't thinking about monetizing my channel. I wasn't thinking about getting paid from ads that are on my YouTube, for example. So the light bulb switch flicked this week, and I was like, right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make this 1,000 views a day. I wrote it down. I said, right, you're gonna do 1,000 views a day, and I did it. I did it on Monday, I believe. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I think they gave me the results. Yeah. So you can do this, but it takes, how can I say it? Because I don't want to put people off. If you really want this badly enough, you will make it happen. Look, I'm 60 years old. 60 years old in a couple of months. And if I can do it, then you can too. Believe me. But you gotta believe in yourself. And yes, it's hard sitting here talking to a camera. You're used to speaking to people, so you gotta imagine that camera is your friend and you're talking to your friend. And yes, sometimes I get nervous. But I've got a mission. I am on a mission to bust this YouTube algorithm. I need to have that effort and know how to do it for myself, for example. So like I said, 3 days in a row, over 1,000 views. I want to get to 2,000 views by this weekend. I want to get to 2,000 views a day, I'm referring to, not in a week, but a day. I'm currently, 1,000 and more views a day. Like I said, it's like it was going up. I noticed the more work that I did and the more strategic planning that I did, the more I was able to get views for. Now, I've used some tools, and I'm going to talk to you about the tools that I've used, because I haven't done this by myself. I use VidIQ, for example, and I also use Opus clips. Opus clips breaks my long form videos into shorts, but it also breaks my long form videos into like 4 videos, and it picks the best parts from that video, for example. I also use TubeBuddy as well. Listen, even though I've got these 3 tools, I really haven't used them to the fullest and to the best of my ability, because I'm trying to run a business as well. Because, otherwise I would be here all day. But I must tell you that once you get to like the views you want, it becomes quite addictive. It's like you're watching the stock market. You're looking at your analytics and you're seeing it go up suddenly, and then suddenly it'll just go down, and then you're like, oh, this is me. This is just me talking. And then I'm like feeding it with a short, right? That'll bring it back up again. So that's what that's what I've been doing over the last 3 days. But I have literally been on here till probably 1 o'clock in the morning, because when you're uploading videos, for example, then you've got to look at the keywords and things, and I'm still trying to understand the best keywords to use, because I'm not trying to use the competitive keywords. I'm trying to use the low keywords that not many people would use in order to get ranked in Google, for example. And like before I even was on YouTube, I used to do articles and blogs, and I managed back then, which was a long time ago, for example, like 2008, for example, and I managed to get onto the #1 page of Google back then. That's because I was doing articles, and I was probably posting about 200 articles a day. It was the same article, but I would do it to all the different article submission channels as well. So this is what my strategy is going to be, to ensure that I get to 2,000 views a day. because I'm at over 1,000 views a day, and I'm really pleased with that. My children are like, "Wow, Mum, that's good," But my son, I must say, my youngest son, he is very good with thumbnails, so he's been helping me when he can, because he is studying for college. So I'm not going to put pressure on him. When he can do it, he'll do the odd one or two, and I'll share with you the ones that he has done that's really got me a lot of views, for example, because he's made them really clear, made the wording really clear, stand out, not too cluttered. Thumbnails, for example, I'm still trying to get my head around how to do thumbnails, and sometimes you'll see my thumbnails and you'll probably notice that I've done it, but I'm learning, and no one's perfect. For example, we're all human. And what I'd like to also say is what my strategy is going to be even more, so I can increase my views, is because I'm going to ensure that I send out to my email list the YouTube videos for people, for my list to watch, for example. But also I'm going to send out in the directories, the video directories, the YouTube videos, but I'm also going to be doing articles from my YouTube videos. I'm going to turn it into text, into articles, and I'm going to upload them into the article directories. I believe that's how I can get to 2,000 views or more a day. And I'm going to try that, and I want to obviously keep you informed of how I get on. Now, I'm due to be paid from YouTube, which is 134 euros, for example. I know that's not much, but it is something. So I am getting consistent money. Before it was $100, and now it's $134 a month, for example. So I'm getting constant payments, like November, December, January, February, 4 months. So I'm getting consistent. I believe if I can get to a higher views, then obviously my YouTube payment will go up. But I'm telling you this because I want you to see, if this will work for you, for example. So this is what I usually post, and you'll probably see a lot of videos on my channel anyway. So I usually do one live a day, every day. I do about 7, I'm going to break it down. I do one upload where I just do one upload, but from that one live that I do, I break it up into some long form videos, which are usually about 10, 15, 20 minute long, for example. So that really should give me 6 videos. So one live plus one upload plus 6 videos, for example, from my one live that I did, that gives me 7 videos plus the one live. Then I do then I do shorts. So I do about 7 shorts a day that I've broken down from the live, and also from the one that I uploaded as well. So I really want to keep with this rhythm every single day, because I believe if I stop, I think it will go whoop, right down again. So it's like you got to keep feeding it. It's like a stock market type of thing. You're looking at the analytics to see if it's going up, and then sometimes you look at it and you think, oh wow, it's gone up this much in 1 hour, and you get all excited, and then suddenly it goes whoop, goes right back down again. You're like, darn it. Okay, And then I'm like, let me give it another shot. So I just give it a shot, should I say. Let me just chuck in another short, for example, and let me look at these keywords and things. I think I've been using keywords that are competitive, that is probably been stopping me from, ranking higher in the algorithm. So I'm going to start using low competition keywords, because that's what I used to do when I did the when I did the article, when I used to do articles and blogs many years ago. And I did really well because I got on the #1 page of Google many years ago. Listen, I've done many types of businesses. I even used to sell gold at one point. Remember that that time when it was like people were buying and selling gold and, melting it down into blocks and selling it, that type of thing. But this is what I am working on, and I'm just wanting you to all think about your YouTube channel. How hard are you really pushing yourself? And I'm not saying this for you to become burnt out or anything, because I'm doing this daily because I've got something that I need to prove to myself. You can do it once a week if you want to, because some people, they just do it once a week and they get like 100,000 views. I don't think that's going to happen to me, for example. It would be lovely. I'd be so blessed and, wonderful, but I don't think that's going to happen, for example. But I know that I can get it to, say, 10,000 views in a day, but I've just got to work at it and try and understand the code that you need to do. And some people say that there is no code. It just happens for them, for example. But this is something which I'm working on. But like I said, I'm going to be uploading every day. And if you want to join me, then you upload every day as well. But you've got to think about what it is that you're going to be offering. And my YouTube views have more than doubled in a week. More than doubled in a week. Listen, I was like at 250 views a day, or 300 views a day kind of thing. And that I was happy with that, because my business was not for the YouTube monetization thing. It was for me to get leads, for example. But with this, uploading every day and keep going, and I have listened to other YouTube creators, like there's Doe Dash, for example. I was listening to her, and I also was listening to Dante London as well. I've been listening to those two mainly. Those are the ones that I've been listening to, and I believe that by me uploading every day, because they were uploading every day, so I was like, I'm going to upload every day. But I still didn't get how it worked properly, for example. And I think there's some kind of mystery thing going on here with YouTube, for example. But I wanted to share with you that I was able to get to it was 700 views, then it went to 1,100 views, then it was 1,300 views, then it was 1,500 views a day, for example. And I'm on a roll now, so I want to get to 2,000 views in a day now. So, but I know that I've got all these videos, and I've got content that is probably helping it to get to over 1,000 views a day, for example. But I've got to look at the keywords now, because I really haven't really looked properly and analyzed the keywords that I'm using, because I've got VidQ, for example, VidIQ, I think it is, and I've got TubeBuddy, for example, Opus clips, which is Think Media, are the ones that I was got this information from for these tools that have been helping me this week, for example. But I really want to try and spend time to use the keywords that are low competition, because I think I've been using the keywords that are high competition, which is going to be hard for me to get into the Google algorithm, YouTube algorithm, should I say, because the big creators, obviously, they get that space. So what I do is I tend to think about what it is that I'm going to be talking about, but I also look at what is relevant right now. So Google Trends is a good one, where it tells me what is trending, for example, in a location. So then I will then think about what it is that I do, or what it is that I can say that is going to relate to that trending topic, that is going to help increase my views. And I'm going to stick with that, because it is hard to keep talking about the same thing but changing it in different ways, because sometimes you got to do that rather than keep chopping and changing all the time. I think that kind of confuses YouTube, for example. So I'm trying to be consistent, even though this is a YouTube video that I'm talking about, which is a bit different from what I've been talking about over the last couple of weeks. But YouTube is part of my business, for example, and I also want to share with people that YouTube does work. YouTube is amazing. It's for anybody that can go on here and talk or sell something. You can do it. You can have your own membership channel. Like, I've got 2 members. I know it's only 2 members in my membership, which is, $1.99. And I know YouTube take a chunk of that, for example, but I'm trying to look at what things that I can do. There's also the print on demand thing. I need to get that sorted, because I've got some things that I really want to offer as well here on YouTube, for example. I've also been offered a sponsorship, so that's going through currently at the moment. And just drink my tea. I also specialize in AI automation for my clients and their businesses, for example. So this is the reason why I'm also on YouTube daily, for example, because I want to make sure that my clients, or potential clients, or people that are watching YouTube, understand that AI can be used as an automation tool for your business to help with your team members as well as yourself, for example. But I haven't used the AI in a way that's going to get me more views, if you know what I mean, apart from TubeBuddy, for example, and then there's Opus, which is the one that breaks it up into 15 minutes, or it'll break it up into 5 minutes or seconds or whatever. And then I've got the other one, which is the VidIQ, for example. So those are the tools that I'm using. But with regards to doubling my views, for me to get consistent views daily of over 1,000 views, is that is a massive achievement for me. And I'm like 60 this year, and I'm super excited, and I wanted to share that with you. And my objective is to get to 2,000 views a day, for example. Then I know that I'm moving in the right direction. I know that my YouTube views are increasing probably by 30%, for example, a day, for example. That's how I'm seeing it as. And I just wanted to really share that with you so that you can also do it as well. Because, you know, for me to get over 1,000 views a day consistently, I know it's only been 3 days, but, you know, it's a big achievement, for example, a very big achievement, because usually I kind of like just stop. It's like when you get to a certain thing and then you suddenly stop doing it because A, you don't know how to keep it going, or B, maybe you're frightened to keep it going, because it is hard work. It's not easy. You have to work at it a lot of hours. When I say a lot of hours, I mean a lot of hours. So you're either working on it in the morning before you go to work, or you work on it in the evening when you finished work. Or some people, they're in their car and they're uploading, doing a video, then they're uploading it straight away whilst they're driving to work. You can't beat that, can you? Really. If you did that daily, imagine what you would get. But like for me, I haven't just done one video and that's it. I have to do a lot of videos to get these views, over 1,000 views a day, for example. And I know it's not much. It's not much, but I'm pushing now. And like I said, my next goal is to get to 2,000 views a day. And I'm going to keep pushing, because I want to prove this to myself. Because really what I really want to get is like 60,000 views in a day. Because 60,000 views in a day, and get my calculator out. Yeah, so 60,000 views. Maybe I'm being a bit extra here. I'm not sure. Before I say something. Oh no, that's not going to work, is it? So I want to try and get 500,000 views in a month. So I'm going to divide that into 30. That means I need to get about 16,000 views a day. So if I do 16,000 views a day times 30, yeah, that gives me about 480,000. That's what I want to do. Do you think that's too much? Maybe it is, but I'm going to give it a go. Sometimes you got to reach for the stars. You got to reach for the stars to really achieve the goal that you really set out to do. So I'm reaching for the stars here. But I also came on here because I want to tell you what my update is. So if you haven't started using YouTube in this way, start it. Because, you know, within 6 months, you should have like a steady flow of income. I'm not saying it's going to make you rich, because I don't think it will I don't think it makes people rich being on YouTube. I think you have to like be working like really hard, having a team of like probably 100 people and things like that. And I don't want to have that headache, for example. So I want to have fun with this. You know, I'm in my 60s. I want to have fun with YouTube. I want to be able to share with the world what I've learnt over my years of being on YouTube. And I know that YouTube is working for small creators. So I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to test it and I'm going to see what works. And I hope that you'll be able to do the same as well. Let me know how you're getting on with your YouTube channel. You're probably shooting past me, for example, because this is like only my third day that I've been doing 1,000 views, for example, over 1,000 views a day. But like I said, I want to get to 2,000 views a day. I'm not happy with just the 1,000 views a day. I want 2,000 views a day. And the latest one was 1,500 views a day. So I want to get to 1,800 views. And I then want to get to 2,000 views in a day, for example. Like I said, YouTube's not easy. You got to look at what feels right to you, and it's got to connect with how you feel and what you're doing, and it's looking at the subject matters as well, because we can't just talk about really what we'd like to talk about. There's a lot of things that I would really like to talk about, but we got to talk about what people want to hear. Just the same as when you're in business, you got to listen to, like I talk about community building here on my channel, and it's about clients, people talking to the community to see what they are looking for. And it's the same with this, with YouTube as well. I am, even though I've been on YouTube since 2013, it's a long time, over 10 years, for example, I still feel I'm new on YouTube in this way with the monetization and the views, because I never ever thought that the views was part of, the YouTube. I just didn't click. And like I said, the switch just went like 3 days ago. I think it was 3 days ago. And I was like, right, I'm going to do this, because I had something to prove to myself. I set myself a target. I want 1,000 views. I'm going to get to 1,000 views. And I did that. So now my next target is I'm going to get to 2,000 views. And I'm going to try and do this. But it has to be consistent. I don't want to just get to 2,000 views and then boom, drop right back down to 100 views. And I suppose it will be days when that happens. I take that on board. But I want to keep being consistent. But I also want to try and figure out how this works. Because there's people here on YouTube, like Dante and Dodash, for example, they're getting like hundreds of thousands of views. So how does that work? I'm trying to understand how this works, for example, because I want to give value, and I want to also help other people to see that if I can do it, then you can do it too. So I hope that that was helpful to you. I'd love to hear your comments. How long have you been on YouTube for? What have you been doing? Has it worked for you? Are you over the 1,000 a day mark? I know it doesn't seem like much. When I say 1,000, I don't mean in pounds or dollars. I mean views. Are you over the 1,000 views mark, a day? Are you past that? Or are you under that? Have you set yourself a target? Like I set myself a target of 1,000 views a day. And I said that to the family, to my kids. I was like, I'm going to get 1,000 views a day. And they were like, yeah, that's nice, Mum. And then when I got it, they were like, oh, okay. And I was like, I'm going to do it again. And then I did it. And I was like, I'm going to do this again. I'm doing it. I'm going to do this every day. And I said, right now, I'm going to do 2,000 views. And so this is my next challenge. And I'm putting it here publicly that I am going to push for 2,000 views. But you know what? If I do it, great. If I don't, I will just keep pushing until I get there. Because I know I can do it. Because I've done it before. And I've got videos that are old that have got like 68,000 views, for example. Some of them happened before I got monetized. Some of it happened even before monetization came out, for example. Because monetization, I believe, I'm not sure what year it started actually. Was it 2019? YouTube monetization? Or was it 2015? I'm not sure. Maybe you can let me know in the chat. Let me know what you think. How many views are you getting a day? Because I'd love to know. And is it consistent? Or do you just do a video once a week and then you get like, say, 10,000 views in a week? Because that's what I would like to do. And then if I've got multiple ones, but I enjoy coming on here every day anyway. It's not like I don't enjoy it. It is something I enjoy doing, because YouTube, doing these videos daily, it's got to be something that you enjoy doing. And like I said, I've got a target of 16,000 views a day. So it would be nice to have like views of 500,000 in a month, for example. I would love that, because I want to prove to myself that I can do it, because I've been on YouTube for a very long time, since 2013. But like I said, I only got monetized last year, October, for example. Then I had to sort out my ID and send that off to, upload that to Google, for example. So really it started for me November last year that I got paid. November, December, January. Yeah, this is my 4th month. So I've set myself a target that by June that I will be on, at least, say 10,000 views a day, for example. I want to try and do that. So I'm starting to work up to that, and I'm trying to get the algorithms to acknowledge me, to see me amongst us all. And that's the same as what we've all got to do. We've got to get the algorithms to acknowledge us and see us so that we can grow. And we can also have, like me, my business, for example, is coaching. So usually when I go on here, I'm talking about products that relate to what I offer, for example. So for me, YouTube already was a business from 2013, from when I first came on here, for example. But now I'm also looking at the monetization, but I'm also looking at the sponsorship as well, where a company sponsors you to talk about a particular product. So I have been approached, but it has to relate to what I do and what I talk about. Otherwise it's not going to work, for example. So on Monday I'm doing an interview, for example, about AI automation. And I think it's important that we're aware of what AI can do for your business, for example, or even for you doing YouTube. I'm using these like the TubeBuddy, for example, the VidIQ, which is Think Media, and there's also Opus clips as well. So Think Media, they specialize in YouTube growth, massive growth, for example. And I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to grow my YouTube views, for example, and I want to be able to share with you how to do it as well. Because I think we're all on this journey together. We're all learning together, for example. And I didn't even realize that, didn't even dawn on me that, oh, I can just use my phone and shoot a video and upload it onto YouTube. And I downloaded the YouTube Studio and also the YouTube app as well. But I upload the videos on the YouTube app that I've got. I only started that this year. So look how behind I am, for example, and I'm still, like I said, still trying to get around these thumbnails. I know my thumbnails aren't good. I'm trying. But like I said, I've got my youngest, he's very good at thumbnails, and he's only done a couple for me because he's doing college and things, so he's trying to fit that in. But I'm also trying to learn, because that's one thing with me, with my kids, even when they were young, when computers first came out, I was like, set this up for me. So they'd set it up for me, and it took them about a week probably to do it. And then I was like trying to do my website. I was like, can you help me with my website? Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it later, Mama. I'll do it later. And I was like, you know what? I need to just get on and try and learn and do it myself. And I said to them, I said to my husband at the time, I said, even if this takes me a whole month or 3 months, I'm going to do it. And I did. I built my own website. And that was back in 2008, for example. Actually, you know how many websites I ended up building? 100 website I built myself with the HTML. I remember there was this lady, she had a YouTube, and the YouTube was, her channel was how to build a website. So I learnt from her, and then I was able to do my own websites. Do you know what? I need to check her out, see if she's still around, because she was lovely, really helpful. She was young at the time. Well, she's probably settled down with kids and stuff. I don't know. But I'll check her out and see if I can find her and tell her thank you for what she did to help me. But yeah, I set up my own website. So like I said, when I've got something on my mind and I need to do it, I do it. Because otherwise it just stays in my head and it worries me. So I just have to get on it and do it. No matter how painful it is, I get on and I do it. And now I've set the stage. I've told you I'm at 1,000 views. And, some days it may go boom, right down. But that's life. I'm not going to have a tantrum or anything. I would just get back to the drawing board and work harder to get back up there. Because YouTube can, I suppose, be up and down. So I will find out more when I get into this. But my mission is to do 2,000 views really by next week. And I want to do it 2,000 views a day. Not in a week, a day. And then the following month, March, I want it to really be 4,000 views a day. And I'm going to keep going until I get to the 16,000 views in a day. So who's with me? Who's with me on this? Say I, for example. Let me know. Let me know how you're doing on YouTube anyway. I'd love to know your stories. Are you, in your 50s, 60s doing a YouTube channel? Are you doing over, my little 1,000 views a day, for example? I'd love to hear your stories because, I need as much help as possible. So maybe we can help one another. So thank you so much, everyone. Give me a like and subscribe. Let me know in the chat how you're doing, or comment how you're doing with your YouTube channel. Have you done what you said that you were gonna do? Some of you were talking about products and things like that. So those are the next things that I'm going to be talking about as well. Because like I said, I want us to all, increase our views on our YouTube channel as well. All right. So thank you, everyone. And I hope you're having a wonderful day. And I look forward to speaking to you tomorrow on the internet. Thank you. Take care. Bye.